Smarties, today we are digging into a simple business practice that changed the trajectory of our businesses. We are digging into how we knew that we needed to make a change, our reluctance about it, and why we are ultimately thrilled that we did. If you are growing your educational therapy practice or speech pathology practice or therapy practice, we would be honored to work with you in the capacity of business coaching. We love the impact that we can make in a strategy session or in a longer term coaching package. There doesn't have to be a commitment. You can do a one-time strategy session just to get a quick hit and some immediate feedback, but we would be thrilled to partner with you. You can learn more about that by emailing us at rachelandsteph@learnsmarterpodcast.com or going to either of our websites. My website is www.kappedtherapy.com. Steph's website is www.myedtherapist.com. Let's dig in.
You want to learn faster, but sometimes working harder is just not the answer. You have to learn smarter. The Educational Therapy Podcast.
Hi, Smarties. Welcome to episode 344 of Learn Smarter, the Educational Therapy Podcast. I'm Stephanie Pitts.
And I'm Rachel Kapp. All right, so I'm excited to have this conversation today, but before we do...
Yes.
I wanted to chat with you quickly about Below Deck.
Okay.
So we'll probably spend like 3 minutes on this. So if you're not into Below Deck, just go ahead and skip forward.
And if you're not into Below Deck, why aren't you?
Get into it. What's taking so long? I love that we're having this conversation because I know our friend of the podcast, Elizabeth Hamblett, is like, oh, good, they're talking about Below Deck.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about Elizabeth, we'll go ahead and link her episodes in the show notes to this episode, but every once in a while she'll be like, okay, ladies, I'm starting up the Below Deck chat again, and like we'll have a quick conversation about it. Okay, so Steph, Below Deck sailing.
Yes.
I only watched the first episode. I'm very behind because I'll be honest, I was doing a rewatch of Below Deck Med, and I knew that more episodes for sailing were coming out. And then I was like, but I don't even really remember what happened prior. That's the blessing of me. I can watch a series and
just like the first
time. And I'm surprised, just like the first time. It's like I watch it and it's gone 2 days later.
Yeah.
That's the joy of being me. And my friends always laugh at me and like will send the Dory emoji. Like just keeps, because she forgets everything too.
Yep.
I have a lot going on, Smarties audience. But yeah, this is just phase of life for me right now. I cannot remember what happened between Daisy and Gary, other than she was dating Colin.
Yep.
Gary was interfering, right?
Yep. Daisy and Gary dated a little bit.
I think it was before because they showed the clip.
It was before.
Like, are we doing this just to get back at each other?
Yes. Okay, so it was before dating Colin.
And is it dating or is it just hooking up?
Yeah, I think with Colin there was feelings.
There were feelings. Oh, for sure. No, that was a relationship.
Gary lived with her in her apartment for a while.
When?
Like COVID stuff.
Oh.
So he stayed with her. I remember they were doing a reunion show and he was in the bathroom and she was in the living room of her apartment. So it didn't look like they were actually together. There's that. So they're doing some emotional growing because I'm a few episodes past you. There's some growth.
Okay, because so far they just had this confrontation and she's very upset because she feels like he emotionally abandoned her when she needed a friend.
So I think I'm 2 episodes maybe further.
I'll be there like by the end of the day.
They have another couple of conversations and he comes clean about some stuff. Then he apologizes and she's very appreciative. So
okay, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody, that's our Below Deck chat.
Yeah.
Below Deck sailing yacht. And Fritzy just came in. All right, so let's dig into this episode, kind of chat a little bit about this business decision that we made that, frankly, the reason I wanted to do this episode is because I see a lot of other educational therapists.
People that were like you.
People that were like us.
No.
People that were like me.
Okay.
Experiencing reluctance.
Yes.
About this one idea, which is accepting credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been accepting credit cards in both our practices for years. It's standard practice now. We both require a credit card on file. Okay, so Steph, what is your recollection of accepting payment? So the single biggest problem that we see in other businesses is educational therapists just continuing sessions but not getting paid. It's a structural issue. It's not like a client issue. It's the structure that you're putting around that system in your business. So, Steph, what do you remember from that?
Okay, I put credit cards into place probably a good year before you did.
Really?
Yes.
I really didn't think it was that long in between. All right. I thought it was like the next month. Okay, Steph just gave me a face.
My eyes got big. No,
Okay.
It was a year or so because I did it pretty quickly because I set up the infrastructure.
For both of us?
Yeah, I had the software and you kept saying, my system is fine. I want you to learn this so that you can teach it to me.
Yeah.
And this is pretty typical, right? A lot of the things I do it first so that I can teach it to her. She does that as well. She'll do some stuff and then teach it to me.
Yeah.
You adopted Calendly first.
Yeah.
And I was more hesitant. But credit cards, the reason that I came to that decision very quickly is because I remember when I was an executive family assistant, having to pay all the bills and keeping track of everything. And it was just so nice when it was automated and I didn't have to think about it. And then also, I didn't have enough time to chase people down. And it was taking up a lot of energy.
You mean in the business?
In the business. Segue back to now being a business owner.
Yeah.
And chasing people down because they forgot or they saw it, but they didn't get to it. Or like, I didn't see the kid, or like something happened and they were mailing a check, or, you know, things like that would happen. And it was a lot of work to keep track of everything. If they were paying by cash, or if they paid me by check, or if they paid me on Venmo, or, you know, all the different ways, right? And it's keeping track of so many different things in so many different places, right? And so I wanted one situation that just took care of all of it. And then the credit cards being able to be accepted felt so easy. Your reluctance was there's a lot of fees.
Right. Like everybody else, I didn't want to take the hit off the 3%. I ended up doing it. We ended up sort of shifting everything too. So credit cards were now getting automatically charged, which was a big mindset thing for me to work through. A lot of how you accept money in your business is actually a reflection of your mindset about money in general. And so one of the things that I think you and I realized at a certain point, and you absolutely forced me into it, and Corey and Katrina, Corey was our former business manager. Katrina is our current director of operations. Once they were really communicating how much ease it had brought, I was more amenable to it. And once I really saw that the 3% at the end of the day didn't really matter, lowers your tax liability, at least here in California and the United States, and I didn't feel the hit, I'm very, very thrilled that I ultimately did it. What do you want to add, Steph?
The thing about it is, if you think about when you aren't accepting it, you're taking more time doing the other things.
Well, and that's where I wanted to go.
Time is money, right? And so even though it might look like less is coming in, you're also saving time, which is also saving money.
It's just an interesting thing. And I know you and I have had this conversation in the past. It's what do you value more, the dollar or the time? And at a certain point, you and I worked through it.
Yeah.
It was a journey, but we ultimately came to the point of, this is my hourly rate. Is it worth my hourly rate to go chasing people down or having conversations about this? Also, I was coming at it from my perspective of, you know, watching how growing up money was dealt with. And my mom would not have liked if something was automated. She would have liked to be the one to run it.
My mom loves the automation.
Now, as an adult, as a parent, I want the ease, I want the automation. So,
for sure,
go in the direction of ease and making it easy for people to pay you. People aren't trying to avoid paying you.
Agreed, 100%. It's sometimes about time and what time did they get the email and what were they doing when they got that email that you might have the bill or however you're doing it. And I want to say it really comes down to things in life. Would you ever go back? That's like the question, right?
Right. Because you can. You can. It's your own business. You can.
Right. So for us, there's things I would never go back. And this is one of those things. I would never go back. I would never go back to not accepting it because a lot of people, when they ask me about how billing works, they're relieved.
Yes.
Oh, that makes it so easy. Yep. Great. That's exactly what I want. I want that part to be easy. Easy for everybody.
So if you're noticing that you are spending time chasing people down, or you have a lot of unpaid invoices, or families owe you money from several months back, and these are all examples, by the way, from recent coaching clients and recent interactions we have had with other business owners in our coaching work, then reconsider what you are valuing and why. You can always increase your rate too to buffer that 3%. And families will thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their needs met with this.
For sure. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you could always go back.
That's what makes it so fun, owning your own business. It's like, you really can't make a mistake. You can just iterate.
Yeah. Pivot.
And pivot. All right, Smarties, we hope we gave you something to think about as you are growing your business. We would be honored to work with you. We have a couple of slots for coaching in 2025. Can't believe we're already talking about 2025, but here we are.
Yep.
And we'll chat with you next week. Have a great week, Smarties.
Have a great week.